want to look at what is the importance about Gita. What is the importance about Gita? The Gita Mahatmya explained the importance of Gita in Bhagavad Gita. So here we have this. Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. Gita Satamidam Pudam Jat Patit Prayata Kuman. If one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, what will happen? If we properly follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties of life. Arjuna was not peaceful when he approached Lord Krishna. He was very much in anxiety, like everyone else in this material. All conditioned souls are full in anxiety, fully in anxiety. Varieties of anxiety from all directions, varieties of anxiety. So here in Bhagavad Gita, it's so important that if we carefully and attentively hear Gita, one can be free from all the miseries and anxieties of life. Bhaya so kadi varajita. One will be free from all fears in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. This life, one becomes free from all anxiety. One becomes free from all fears. One becomes free not only for this life, but next life. Sinful life. Our next life becomes spiritual life. If from Gita Mahatmya. What else can do that for us in this? What else can provide such a powerful potency that one can become free from all sinful life? And the next life, one have a full spiritual life. Full spiritual life. About Gita. Gita Dhyayana Sila Shya Pranayama Parashacha Naiva Santihi Papani Purva Janma Kutani Cha. If one read Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, if one read Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then the grace of the Lord, by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeed will not act upon him. Never. This is not an exaggeration. But how simply reading Bhagavad Gita one will be free from sin, that there is sinful activity one have been committing since some immemorial be destroyed. I will not have a effect on this. And also one can also add, I have been reading Bhagavad Gita since I joined the and I'm teaching Bhagavad Gita. So I know my experiences. That means we have never taught the Gita and have not read the Gita. The word is very carefully selected. The word here is very carefully selected. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely, that means that sincerity in studying Gita is missing in us. Sincerity in reading Gita is missing. If sincerity is missing, what do we mean by sincerity? One is not reading Gita to find fault. One is not reading Gita to defend our deviation. One is reading Gita with all submissive to really get the message of Krishna, to really understand of Krishna. Understanding that Gita is not ordinary word, it's directly the word from the Supreme Personality of Godhead meant for our deliverance. But when you're reading in this way, it is considered sincere reading. And with seriousness, seriousness means that we are not just reading it to while away time. Not just to while away time. Okay, I have a free time, I don't have anything to do. Let me just scan the Gita just to keep away the time. No one is deeply and seriously studying the Gita. Then, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, who spoke the Gita, the reactions of one's past misdeeds will not happen from him. The Lord says very loudly in the last portion of our Gita, 1866, Sarva Dharma Parityaja, Mame Saranam Braja, Aham Tvam Sarvapa Vidyu Mokshaisami Masucha. This is spoken by Lord Krishna himself. Krishna himself spoke this. This is not spoken by someone. Sri Bhagwan. The Supreme Personality of God himself is speaking. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Do not fear. So Prabhupada said in the purport, do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Do not consider. Just surrender to Krishna as Krishna demands. That requires heavy amount of faith. It requires heavy amount of purification to have such a full conviction that Krishna will deliver me if I surrender. And surrendering to Krishna means to have the 6 qualities of surrender. Papa said, thus the Lord takes all responsibility for one who surrenders unto him, and he identifies such a person against, he indemnifies such a person against all reactions of sins, all reactions of sins. Krishna free a person who surrenders. It should not be difficult for us, because even here the material, if you are the son of the president, you will not need to fill the form to see him in office. You don't walk straight. You don't walk straight to the office. You don't need to fill form. You don't need any appointment. Your appointment is automatic. I can walk to his office anytime and see him. I can work at other things, but other workers, people have been working, they will never have such a privilege, because you will have some less to say. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is saying, if we surrender to him, he will take all responsibility for all our actions, for our life in general, completely. He will take responsibility for everything about us completely. That means our health insurance is good. Education insurance, all the insurance, all good. Oh, we are fully insured. Like when you want to take the vaccination, you are convinced that the disease will not enter your body. Not a coronavirus. You say have the disease that enter your body. But Krishna conscious vaccine, no sin will ever enter your life. Krishna will take care of everything. Narada Muni, he told Uddhava, the quality of your devotion, the relationship you have with Krishna, the level of your bhakti for Krishna, your life is like a barren land. Nothing will germinate. Sin will not germinate in your heart. That's the life of a person who has surrendered himself. Sin will not germinate there. Nothing. That's the life of a good. And that is what Krishna is requesting. We should surrender to him and he will take care of everything. Everything Krishna will take care of that us. Malandirimbotanam punsam jalasnanam dine dine sakri gita mrita snanam samsara malasnasanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in the water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him, the death of material life is altogether vanquished. Altogether vanquished. One is free from sin. That is the importance of surrender to Krishna, the importance of Bhagavad Gita. All our debts from time immemorial, Krishna will destroy everything completely, gone, completely. Gita sugita kartavya kimnyata sastra vishtarai yashvayam padmana bhashya uka padman vinishita. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it's impossible for them to read all the Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should not read any other book. We don't have time anyway. We don't have time. Even if you have time, you don't have intelligence. But if one simply reads Bhagavad Gita, just Bhagavad Gita, even if it is one verse, or one line, or one word, or one alphabet in Bhagavad Gita, one becomes liberated. One becomes liberated. Even one word. Our liberation is guaranteed. Our success is guaranteed. Going back to Godhead is guaranteed. If you read this, it is not ordinary book. It is not just a book. This is directly Lord Krishna himself. Krishna gave the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna when he was in this church. He was confused. Bewildered. Does not know what to do. Those who are very fortunate. They have the mercy to utilize what is in Gita. I think it's Mahatma Gandhi who said, when I am confronted with the difficulties and I look left and right, back and front, there is no hope. There is no hope. There is no opportunity. There is no hope at all. When everything else fails completely, just turn to Gita and one will see the lights. Just open Gita. That's all. If one is fortunate to have the strength to just open the Gita, there will be lights, there will be direction, there will be clarity. All illusion is destroyed. This is what Arjuna himself will confirm. When Krishna spoke the Gita to Arjuna extensively, and Arjuna was listening to Krishna for days, not days, not days. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna for only 30 minutes. And Arjuna was able to hear everything. So Krishna asked Arjuna, O son of Pritha, O conqueror of world, have you heard this with an attentive mind? If you do listen with attentive mind, well, Gita is so important that it will make a miracle in your life. So Krishna said, O son of Pritha, O conqueror of world, have you heard this word with an attentive mind? If you do, Krishna said, your ignorance and illusion will be destroyed. So, are you still disturbed? Are you still doubtful? Are you still confused about what to do? Arjuna said, no. I am now clear, Sri Arjuna Vachan. Nastu Mahasriti Labda Tatpasadan Maya Chuta. Sitosmi Kata Sandhiha Karisye Vachana Tava. Karisye Vachana Tava. Nasta Maham Asta Moha Suriti Labda. My illusion is destroyed. My illusion is destroyed. My fear is gone. My confusion is gone. My anxiety, all of them is gone. Is gone. Completely gone. How? To Prasadan Maya Sutra. By your mercy. By your mercy. By your mercy, I am now fame. I am now convinced. I have regained my strength as Arjuna. What will you do? I'm ready to do whatever you say. Anything you say, I will do it. Anything you tell me now, I will do it. Something Arjuna was not able to do before, now he has the ability to do it. How? Because he has listened to Gita. So anyone who listens to the Gita, anyone who hear Gita sincerely, with all seriousness, Krishna promise, we will be free from all doubts, from all miseries, from all sinful activities since time immemorial. Krishna will take it off completely. This is Bhagavad Gita. One who drinks the water of the Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of the Mahabharata. And it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. Bhagavad Gita comes from the mount of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Ganges is said to emanate from the total feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord. But from an impartial study, one can appreciate that Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the water of the Ganges. Why? Because Ganges will take bath many times. Many times. Many times. But Gita, once. Just once. One is there. Just once, one is there. Not very many people read Bhagavad Gita. But millions of people read it. Means Gita is not good, but we don't dump so many things in Gita that they dump in Gita. So Gita is still very clear. And if you read Gita, you're not dumping anything. You're not dumping anything. You take back in Janga, you're dumping the sin. On Gita, we're not dumping anything. We're simply getting purified by taking shelter. Therefore, this Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, is the essence of all Upanishads. And it is just like a cow And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowhead boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a cow, and learn scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. So if you take shelter of Gita, we will have the same experience like Arjuna. We're free, completely free, no sinful activity. So, an illiterate person can hear Gita. Anybody can hear Gita. And the result, so will come. Tomorrow is the Advent of Gita. And some will recite the Gita. Some people will be here. I will speak about Gita. I will distribute about Gita. We can make a heaven for Gita. Whatever form we take, Gita will purify us. Because it is for that purpose. And we are very, very fortunate to have the blessing of Sri Prabhupada to have a Gita that we can hear. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. I have two questions, Guru Maharaj.
All right.
Guru Maharaj, you mentioned that if one will read Bhagavad Gita sincerely and with all seriousness, then the miracle will manifest. So the question is, what are the factors that prevent us from developing that seriousness and sincerity in reading Bhagavad Gita? Guru Maharaj.
What is a factor that blocks us from reading Gita seriously and sincerely? The only thing which will stop anyone from reading Bhagavad Gita is our sinful activities, our sinful life. This afternoon, we gave a Bhagavad Gita to somebody. Said, "No, I don't read. I don't read books." But when I was looking at him, he not that he doesn't read, because he was asking me questions, and he mentioned some other spiritual organizations. How did he know them? He did something. So what he actually meant was that if you read the Bhagavad Gita, he has a lot of challenge to follow the principle that is enjoined in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So that's the big challenge. So our challenge will be, the only thing which will stop us from reading is our sinful activities. That we're so sinful that we don't have the access to have the contact with Gita. If one is pious, we will be attracted to Bhagavad Gita. That is only disqualification. One is pious. What is stopping one from reading Gita? Nothing will stop us from studying Bhagavad Gita. So that is the problem. Someone can look at Bhagavad Gita, immediately is attracted and start to read it, and he will relish it. What is responsible for that? The person is pious. I remember once I was 𝐶𝐚𝐤𝐿 and I just gave book to one man. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. You scare me. As soon as he did that, I didn't waste time. I immediately, spontaneously, I don't turn to that person who was coming. I gave the book to the person took it. So I was talking to them, we discussed very freely, nicely. So after the man left, then I turned back to that person who was disturbed. And I said, my friend, I have not seen you before. Neither that man. I've never seen him before. I'm meeting both of you for the first time, and I'm sure you are also seeing me for the first time. So what is responsible for you refusing this book and that man taking the book? And he took the book smiling. We talked very nicely. The person took the book happily and he left. And you are frightened. That is what he said. You will frighten me. What is responsible for that? The man kept quiet. So I said, my friend, there's something wrong with you. So you should check what is wrong with you. It's not my book or myself that is frightening you. It is what is in the mind that is frightening you. So people who were all around, they were listening. The man didn't say anything. All the time I was talking, he didn't say anything. I finished telling him what I have in mind, so I left. So both of them have never met me. I'm not saying anything. Why one is attracted to it, another person is very disturbed by it. It is our impious nature that makes the difference. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Guru Maharaj. Then another point is when Sri Krishna was asking Arjuna whether he has heard with attentive mind. Then the question here is, what are the technologies that we should have so that we can develop this quality of attentive mind in order to read Bhagavad Gita?
Yes. What we need is not to feel comfortable in this whatsoever. Not to feel comfortable. We should not think that we have time, we have long life. We should not think that everything is fine. Why Arjuna was able to hear attentively like this? Because he has anxiety over the duty he has to do. He is to fight with the beast, and he cannot do that. And he cannot avoid it. He tried to avoid fighting with beast, but the person said no. You have to do it. So in such a situation, what to do? One will be challenged. And that challenged will be resolved if we have the solution. When Arjuna knew that Krishna was the solution to a difficult challenge he has, he gave full attention. But when we feel that we are all right, everything is perfect and is complete, I am this, I am that, when we sit in the class, we don't hear attention. Our mind is not where we are sitting. The mind is somewhere, so we don't hear attention. And we will not hear attention. And that will happen when our mind is fully absorbed in sense gratification. We're not here. One whose piety is small will not have attraction for Krishna, Krishna devotees, Krishna holy name. One whose piety is very small will not have attraction for Krishna. If our piety is very strong, we automatically have attraction for Krishna. That is the way. So we have to practice tuning down the noise of the sense gratification in our consciousness. We should practice doing that. Tune down the volume. That is the process of Krishna consciousness. To tune down the volume of the sense gratification in our consciousness. That is the way. All right.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. There is one last question, Guru Maharaj. Very often when we are asked to give a lecture on a class on Bhagavad Gita, then we go through different books with the idea like to project ourselves like we know very well the subject matter. But what qualities that we should have so that we can avoid such type of mentality, Guru Maharaj?
If we read the Gita sincerely, seriously, and always praying to our acharyas for help, Gita will review, and we will be able to present it. When we depend on that, we'll be able to present it as it is in such a potent way that whoever hears it will be purified. We should not give lecture on our own strength. We should give the lecture based on the strength of acharyas. When we sit there, thinking, meditating upon them as being their representative, and feeling ourselves very, very incapable of doing something, and begging for them to use us as an instrument. They will speak through us. So all the messages that they have would flow through us. I will simply repeat them myself. We don't know how we are presenting the message, because it is not our own. It is coming through us by our acharyas. So we should not speak on our own. We should speak as they will deliver the message to us. And that will happen when we are conscious of them. And we are hearing Gita sincerely with all seriousness. Then that message comes. And we'll speak something which is very, very beneficial for those who hear. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Guru Maharaj. Now we can take question from other devotees, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. We are having one question from Prabhu Pran. Hari. Prabhu, you can ask the question. Thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for reminding us a day before the Gita Jayanti that how important is Gita actually in our life. But they have so many challenges. As you mentioned, Maharaj, about the hope that we actually, the question is basically that is seeing no hope in our life is because surrendering to the mind, or is because of ignorance?
We have no hope because of ignorance. Ignorance that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is there at all times, not just sometimes, at all times. He is there for us. Ignorance is the problem. So Prabhupada mentioned in the Sri Upanishad that our scientists are promising better material because they are ignorance of the spiritual world. Everything we're looking for, it is not here. It is spiritual world. But being ignorant of that, people are working very hard and planning as if the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so even the religious organizations are thinking that the Lord is coming to make this material world a heaven. So one does not need to go anywhere. Just say, yeah, this will make it a heaven like for you, heavenly. At the same time, they said that God has taken 144 people there. So if he has taken 144 people there and he comes to make the heaven here, what is the use of sending 144 people? And what is the purpose of, what is so special about the 144? What is so special about them that the Lord is taking there? Even though he's coming to make here heaven. Why, what bothering to do that? All these are ignorance. And that is the problem. If one knows the Supreme Personality of God is always there, and he is the one organizing everything. He is the one organizing it. Everything is in his hand, and he's controlling everything at his will. We will not have fear about anything. We don't have worries about anything because we know he's there. He's there. So it's ignorance of this, the supreme position about Krishna at the question of God. I just remember Srila Prabhupada's small child. He was traveling with Prabhupada in the train. So a conductor came to him. I was teaching the boy. Where's your ticket? A small boy. He was, I don't have tickets. So the conductor said, then you get down. No, I'm not going to get down. The conductor said, if you don't have ticket, you cannot be here. You should get down. You should get down from here. No, I will not get down. Why you cannot get down? My father is here. My father. I cannot get down because my father is here. He will pay. He has confidence. He knows the importance of his father. My father can pay. He doesn't know how much money the father has in the pocket. But he convinced that my father is here. So he cannot ask me to get down. And I'm not getting down because my father is here. He wouldn't have had such a confidence if the father is not there. He'd be afraid. Oh, I'm sorry, please help me. But he didn't beg. He was very confident and he challenged him. I cannot get down. Because my father is here. How can I get down? That kind of confidence, this knowledge, you should have it. If you don't have this knowledge, everything, without knowing that, just see our fortune. Just see our fortune. We talk about ignorance, we don't know how powerful this ignorance is. Very powerful. That we have the solution to a problem we don't access. It's ignorance. That's why I always refuse the what they're telling me we know. We know so much, I will know everything. I say, Prabhu, if you know everything, why are you like this? How can you tell me that you are like this? The place that any small thing will be displaced. And they say you know. How can you say you know? Know what? One who knows cannot be bewildered. One who does not know can be bewildered. Be afraid of not to say. So it is ignorance. There is a problem. All right.
Maharaj, thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. One more question, Maharaj, I have. This we read this Bhagavad Gita, and there are so many points are mentioned. Basically, it's about the knowledge and all that. But we cannot apply those into action, actually. So how do we make those knowledge into action?
Which knowledge you cannot apply?
Sorry?
Which is the knowledge you cannot apply?
Like for example, there's so many austerities are mentioned in the 17th chapter and all that. They're basically that. So those is sometimes we find it's very difficult. So, certain other things also there, which is, I feel that it is tough. But mentioned about so many austerity, we have to do it. But sometimes we have to lie, you have to truth and all that. So it's happened in this material world. So we have to balance it. So applying is, for me, it is a little difficult. So how to apply that?
If you want to apply it, you should first of all give up the mindset that it is difficult. If you don't change the mindset, it will still be difficult.
Yes.
We will not be able to do it. It is difficult and it will be difficult. Well, our fortune is His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Maharaj, in one of his prayers, he said, I am a beggar who does not know how to beg. So if you don't know how to beg, you're a beggar. You don't have to beg. You don't get anything because you don't have to beg. You don't get anything. But he said, I'm not frustrated. I'm not disappointed. Why? Because I have someone who can beg for me. That is our chance. We have somebody who can beg for me, who can beg for us. So yes, on our own, we will not be able to do it, but we have people who can help us to do that. If we surrender to them, we'll be able to transcend. So that I cannot do it, not humility, it is ignorance. Yes. If we have to take something above our height, so we cannot do it. Anything which is above our height, we cannot get it. So we cannot get it. It's impossible for us to get it. But if you get a ladder, you get it. So we need the support. Yes. So if one is frustrated, oh, I cannot get this, it's so high, how can I get it? That is ignorance. Intelligent person say, yeah, I cannot get there with my height, so let me extend my height. If you are a yogi, then you can do that. If you are not a yogi, then you should get a ladder. So that's another way of getting mystic power. So you get a ladder and climb on it. So you extend your height has been extended. So your hand will reach it and protect it. So ignorance will be destroyed what is a good point of knowledge. Is it not?
Yeah, very nice. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Agree. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Next, we are having Jagannivas Prabhu. Prabhu, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
I was reading something that, if I have your permission, I would like to share with the devotees. This is a conversation between Srimati Mataji and one Brajavasi. So the Brajavasi asked, what's your next big temple festival? So she thought for a moment and she said, Mokshada Ekadashi, the advent of Bhagavad Gita. So he asked, how will you be celebrating that? Our international family of devotees will be joining together on that day to chant the entire Bhagavad Gita for Lord Krishna's pleasure and purpose. Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita as it is has been translated into some 55 languages, and so on. That day, devotees from all over the globe will be filling the ether with the vibration of Krishna's word spoken more than 5,000 years ago. Then there was a pregnant pause. He asked, can I ask you something? So Srimati said, no problem. Krishna spoke this message in Sanskrit more than 5 years ago. You're a foreigner and you don't know Sanskrit. So how it is that you know Bhagavad Gita so well? She answered, that's Srila Prabhupada's kindness. His Bhagavad Gita made Krishna's words accessible to everyone, regardless of nationality and creed. So the Brajavasi said, then why aren't you celebrating the advent of your Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is? You guys have it all wrong. If your Prabhupada haven't give you Bhagavad Gita in your own language, and a language suitable to today's worldview, you wouldn't even know who Krishna is. Can you tell me a little bit about the advent of your Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita as it is? Then there was some other pause. And I answer, I will have to do a little homework to do justice to your question. Thank you.
All right, thank you for sharing with us. Yes, the Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita has light up the whole world. So that is wonderful. And the Vajrabhasi is very fortunate to appreciate Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita, and he's requesting we should do that. Yes, we're already doing that. Tomorrow, like Srimati said, all over the world, we're going to everybody. We're going to chant the Gita. I did that. I did say that in the beginning. Some are going to do Gita Homa. Going to chant the whole Gita. Very auspicious. This is property who has given this. Some are going to recite it on their own. This property is powerful. Some are going to distribute in whichever way we present it. It is all the costless measures of God. He's one who brought the treasure. Nobody understood again like the Vajrabhasi was. It was in Sanskrit. Many people don't know. But Prabhupada translated everything. He did everything in a language we can identify it and understand it and read it. And many souls have become liberated from this. That is wonderful. We are eternally indebted to Prabhupada for giving this wonderful treasure. Hare Krishna.
Gurudev, we are having more questions from YouTube. From Mataji Vidyavati. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please give few tips to do Bhagavad Gita books distribution.
Yes, please distribute the Gita. Distribute Gita as many as possible. You have a strong desire to do it. Krishna will give all the intelligence how to distribute it. Wherever you stretch your hand, you will take the Gita. First qualification is to have the desire to do it. Appreciating what the distribute as you want it. And that will be your glory. Hare Krishna.
We are having one more question, general question from Suzanne Mataji. Hare Krishna Maharaj, can devotees eat chocolate? Please kindly elaborate. Thank you.
No, we should read Gita, not chocolates. Let us read Gita sincerely and with devotion, no chocolates. And we'll be there. Lord Krishna will give us all the necessary. And give us spiritual life in the. That means we'll go back and back to the study. No chocolate. Only or chocolate with the taste to read Gita and distribute. That is our fortune. All right.
Yes. Gurudev, we are having one more question.
I have an pneumonia, I've been speaking the same problem.
Yes, Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Yes, chocolate. To replace the taste for chocolate with the taste for Gita. to chant the Gita regularly and to distribute Gita. That should be our concentration, our focus. Right?
Yes. We are having one more question from Jayananda Prabhu.
All right.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
I wanted to have one clarification, Guru Maharaj. During the lecture, you mentioned if a person will take millions of bath in 𝐤𝐬𝐬 water, then all his sins will be vanquished. But if he will read once the Bhagavad Gita, then he will be purified. So the clarification between purification and destruction of the sin, if you could elaborate on that.
Yes. If we do that, all purification means what? Purification means that all the sinful activity is gone, just like it is destroyed. So it's the same thing. It is destroyed. So we don't have it again. What remains with us is only perfection. Like Gita Mahatma said, next but it is only spiritual life. That means all our sinful activities have been destroyed. Or we have been purified, become completely purified. And then what remains is only spiritual, only life. And that is that is not my promise. That is the Gita. Gita speaking with full assurance. But this is what will be our situation if you take to studying our Gita. If we are fully absorbed in reading, hearing, and distribute our Gita, we will not have taste for chocolate. To be gone. Krishna will take it away. He will destroy it. He will destroy it completely. So there's no chance for you. It is only our Gita. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Gurudev, we are having one more question from Sanjay Prabhu. Sanjay Prabhu, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. I have one question about representing acharyas when we speak on Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes Prabhupada gives very long purports, and sometimes it seems practical in the lecture to just read a part and then comment and leave the rest. Is that all right, or is it offensive?
It is not correct. I was in Vrindavan once. One devotee, Sannyasi Guru, he was giving a lecture in one purport. So he read just 2 paragraphs and he spoke on that, and the class was ended. So the next morning, His Grace Pancha Gauda Prabhu, the President Krishna Balaram. So the next day he mentioned, Srila Prabhupada's purport is his ecstasy that he shared with us. So the purport is very, very important. So to take some and leave the rest is not good. So Prabhu read the previous purport completely before he discussed the present text he was to speak of. So what if the time is short, we can if the time is short, we can read the whole purport completely. Then take a few paragraphs which we want to speak on. Then it will be good. Instead of taking those few paragraphs and leaving the remaining as if they're not important. They are all very important. And this is the proper ecstasy. Our duty is to immerse ourselves in proper ecstasy. That is how we get purified. That is how also we get advancement. This is how we get the perfection. That is how we get all our sins destroyed. By immersing ourselves completely in the word of our chariots. They are not ordinary words. So this is what I do. I will read all the whole purpose. Then you start again to explain it completely. Maybe there's no time. Okay, you can stop something. But we have already read the whole purpose for everyone to hear and get purified. After all, what we are going to speak may not be better than what Prabhupada has written there in the purpose. Even if we eloquently speak it, the potency is different. The potency is not the same. One word for Acharya is more important than thousands of words from us, some of us. So that is my little understanding about that. We should read it completely because it is Prabhupada's ecstasy. He has shared with us. So it's good for us to appreciate that and read it completely for our benefit and the benefit of others who are listening. In fact, some people who have the tendency of speaking outside the purport and the translation, the best thing I do in such classes is to hear the proper translation and the purport. Then the person can speak his nonsense. I will not hear that because I have already listened to the translation and the proper purport. So I get purified from that. It will be ringing in my head so that whatever nonsense the person will speak, I will not be affected by it. All right.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. I think we don't have any more questions. So we'd like to thank all the viewers for their question. Okay. So Gurudev Prabhu, yes, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my prostrated obeisances. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. I'm sorry I'm not able to put on my video because I'm driving. Please forgive me. My question is in regards to, I just heard you, I came late, please forgive me, but I just heard you about, you said that, and Jayananda Prabhu's question about when one takes birth in the Ganges, it purifies one, but when one hears the Bhagavad Gita, it sets one free. Now also, most often we hear a lot of time people give a lot of emphasis to hearing only the Srimad Bhagavatam, because the Srimad Bhagavatam has the power to purify us and to cleanse us of all disease and all contamination. But people don't give much emphasis into hear the Bhagavad Gita also, because the Bhagavad Gita also has much power. Rather, we put a lot of emphasis on hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And hence the importance of reading the Bhagavad Gita, or it's more down, because a lot of emphasis is more on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, thank you very much for the clarification, Guru Maharaj. But how do we say this to people? Because sometimes people say, you need to read all Srila Prabhupada book, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, how do we say, but I also need to read the Bhagavad Gita? How do we say this, Guru Maharaj, to be able to be in a balance? Thank you very much, Guru.
Anyone who wants to hear Bhagavatam must, first of all, hear Bhagavad Gita. So there's no difference. Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjuna on the battlefield of Kushetra. From Krishna dancing with the gopis in the forest of Vrindavan. For one to understand, to appreciate Krishna dancing the forest of Vrindavan with the young girls in the dead night, one must have get himself, as I said, purified from the chariot, the noise of chariot, the rattling of the chariot and the horses and the elephant and the soldiers and the fighting and all the blood and everything. One must get purified from all this before we can have the qualification to hear. We cannot jump up there and think that we are hearing. We will simply destroy ourselves. What's the qualification to hear? So one who sees the difference between the hearing only Krishna's pastimes and not Bhagavad Gita, is disqualified from hearing Bhagavad. We will simply create the havoc of our own life. Better to hear Gita. The Prophet says the ABCD of Krishna consciousness. So we have to get the Bhagavad Gita very, very fixed in our consciousness, understand it perfectly. Then we can go into Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam, we should start right from the beginning, Canto 1. Don't jump. The idea is that if one study Bhagavad Gita systematically, and then enter Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1 to 9th Canto. When we do that to 9th Canto, the expectation is that now we are free from all the garbages. Chapter 9, Canto 9 Bhagavatam has it like a kitchery. There's so many things all mixed together in Canto 9. That is how our nature is. So when all those garbages are clean for our consciousness, we enter into Canto 10. Now we are suitable to enter into Krishna. We have to be purified first. So if we don't do the first thing first, we are simply going to create havoc, which is very, very dangerous. One should not do that. If we don't appreciate Bhagavad Gita, if you want to know if we are making advancements, we look at how the warriors are fighting, how they demonstrate. You feel some ecstasy, right? You feel some hair standing on end. If you can hear our philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and feel like that, then we are making advancements. Otherwise, we are still in your fights. Your fights. Shudra. Just to hear stories. That is Shudra. Or less than Shudra. We were considered to be making advancement when we can hear the philosophy of Gita and be happy with it. The way we feel when we are seeing the warrior demonstrating their skills in fighting. Then we get prepared to enter into the understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Next we have Prabhu Jayesh.
The last
Prabhu,
one.
you can unmute yourself. Yes.
Hare Krishna Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisance.
Thank you.
Gurudev, my question is that we are in this material world. So we have in the material world, we have to deal with our staff, with our vendors and everyone. So we have to become, sometimes we have to become diplomatic and political in our behavior, in our dealings. Now, so our devotee has to be straightforward and not duplicitous. He has to be clear in his dealings. So my question is that what should we do? Like we can't always be straightforward in our business dealings. And in the material world, we have to be diplomatic.
Yes, you can do that in the business, but not in the temple. How are devotees? Yes, we're in the material world. We're in the material. Everybody knows that we're in the material world. And we have to deal with it. So give to Caesar what is for Caesar, and give to Jesus what is for Jesus. You have workers, you have to deal with them properly for them to do their job. But it's different from when you take the chanting bill. When you take the chanting with the chant, it's different. It's in a different mood. So you should not mix the two. If you bring too much bhakti into a business, you will not succeed. And if you carry a businessman to the temple, also you will not succeed. So both are separate and should be done according to different situations. It's intelligence, organization, and intelligence will succeed. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Siti's Ki.
Thanks, brother.
Shri Gita Jayanti Ki.
Jai.
Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Gaura Premanandi.
Hari Hari Om.